As Sally, a 50-year-old homemaker, my life took a new turn when both my grown children ventured out on their own, leaving our nest empty. Embracing this newfound phase, I embarked on a journey of working from home while managing household chores. Thankfully, my husband stood by me every step of the way, offering unwavering support. Initially, my earnings trickled in at a modest $200 per month. Yet, with persistence and dedication, that figure steadily rose to $600, then $800, a testament to the growing opportunities in my freelance work. I'm deeply appreciative of the clients who entrust me with their projects, enabling me to contribute to our household income. Living in the same neighborhood as my husband's twin sister and her family adds an extra layer of familiarity to our lives. Being of the same age as my sister-in-law brings an inevitable camaraderie as we navigate this stage of life alongside our supportive spouses. From the start, a semblance of closeness formed between us, yet my disdain for my sister-in-law remained steadfast, making even the simplest conversations burdensome. My husband shared in my sentiments, voicing his own aversion towards his sister. It seemed her arrogance was a constant presence, her conceited demeanor and penchant for belittling others proving irksome. Her penchant for flaunting her superiority grated on my nerves incessantly. In her home resided her bedridden son, my nephew Tommy, aged 24. Afflicted by a debilitating illness since childhood, he remained confined to his bed, his movements limited and his life overshadowed by illness. Then came the day when a text message from my sister-in-law arrived, dripping with snide remarks and condescension. Starting today, I'll be soaking up the sun in Hawaii, luxuriating in a fancy hotel for a whole week. Oh, but I suppose he won't be joining me, will he? After all, my dear little brother isn't exactly rolling in dough. You two must be scraping by, right? Perhaps teetering on the edge of divorce? Her words dripped with disdain as she continued. And as for me, well, I'll be turning heads on the beach in my swimsuit, basking in all the attention. Unlike you, with your frumpy figure. No chance you'd dare to put on a swimsuit with that saggy post-childbirth belly of yours. Little did she know, my physique remained slender and taut, a fact that belied my 50 years of age. Unlike her assumptions, I didn't bear the toll of childbirth on my body, but her audacity was beyond belief. Admittedly, my 2 children had left their mark, my body not quite returning to its pre-pregnancy state. Yet the same could be said for my sister-in-law, whose figure mirrored my own matronly curves. My sister-in-law exudes an unwavering confidence in herself, yet to me, we stand on equal ground. Perhaps if she possessed exceptional beauty and flawless physique, her remarks might hold less sting, but why must I endure such comments from her? Furthermore, I couldn't help but wonder about her plans for Tommy. So, what's the arrangement for Tommy while you're away? Will someone be staying with him or checking in regularly? Ha, no chance. Too much trouble. He'll manage fine at home, won't he? Besides, I've stocked up on drinks and essentials near his bed. That's appalling. How could you even consider such a heartless act? What? I don't need lectures from someone who hasn't faced a fraction of my struggles. My life's been turned upside down because of him. I never should have had a son like him. Fine then, I'll take care of him. I'll go fetch Tommy right away. Do whatever you please. I'll be relieved when he's gone. Just wait, I'll be there soon. With resolve, I made my way to my sister-in-law's home, a mere 5-minute drive away. Tommy, confined to his bed and reliant on a specialized wheelchair, necessitated a vehicle that could accommodate his needs, hence my choice of a station wagon. She's really going to fetch him? Yes, I did it because I pity Tommy. He's seen as nothing but a burden, lounging around with no purpose at his age. Well, you're no different, just a stay-at-home wife, lounging around all day. You two seem made for each other. I work remotely, you know. I'm not just idling away as a housewife. And being a homemaker doesn't equate to laziness, does it? Remote work, huh? That's hardly a real job. My husband and I have full-time careers. You're essentially just a housewife. It's fitting that you spend your life looking after Tommy. Is that so? Come on, Tommy. Okay. Tommy appeared visibly disheartened. It was understandable given the treatment he received from his own mother. Caring for an ill child is undeniably challenging, but it's undeniably cruel to express such sentiments in his presence. If she needed to vent, I wished to choose a place away from Tommy. Regardless of his age, witnessing such exchanges would undoubtedly inflict emotional wounds. After some effort, I managed to bring Tommy to our home. Soon after, my husband arrived. "Tommy, why are you here?" he asked. "Uncle David, I'm sorry. The truth is, your sister was planning to leave Tommy behind while she goes on vacation. So, I'd offered to bring him here. I apologize for not consulting you first. No, it's fine. My sister must have lost her senses. Abandoning him is despicable. Tommy, you're welcome to stay here from now on. We'll take care of you. Uncle David, that's right. You don't need to worry about anything. I've always admired you. Thank you, Aunt Sally. My disdain for my sister-in-law and her husband knows no bounds. They're despicably malicious. However, Tommy has always been an exception. Despite his illness, he radiates empathy and intelligence. Though he hasn't had much opportunity for formal education, his natural brightness shines through. To me, he embodies the essence of a clever child. I was taken aback when I learned that my sister-in-law and her husband had jetted off to Hawaii, leaving their bedridden son behind. The thought of what they would do if something happened to him while they were away gnawed at me. They wouldn't be able to rush back immediately. My husband shared my disbelief. Can you believe it? My sister and her husband are off to Hawaii, leaving Tommy behind, he remarked incredulously. I can't fathom it. While I've never directly cared for him, leaving him without arranging any care services or support, it's unsettling to think about. If we hadn't received that message, Tommy would have been left alone without us even realizing. It's chilling, I agreed. It's truly distressing. I've never had the responsibility of caring for a seriously ill child. My own parents are still healthy and have always expressed their preference for a senior home should they become incapacitated. Consequently, I've never been in a caregiving role myself. That's why I initially hesitated to criticize my sister-in-law. However, I still struggle to comprehend how she could leave her son with only a drink and simply walk away. Given the severity of his condition, they could receive welfare support and, if necessary, utilize short-term care facilities for extended travel. Upon their return, my sister-in-law and her family made a special trip to our house, bearing a gift. Here, consider it a memento. It suits you both perfectly. What's this? We gathered these seashells during our time at the beach. Since we have an abundance, we thought we'd share some with you. We have no interest in them. Really? Rejecting my gesture of kindness. Perhaps this piece of driftwood is more to your liking. We don't want any of it. By the way, how is Tommy doing? How is he? Not that I care about such a useless child. That's heartless. How can you speak that way about your own son? What do you know? It's devastating to have given birth to him only to discover he has a serious illness. I want back every penny I've spent raising him. You can only say that because you don't understand the weight of raising a child like him. Oh, really? So, about what you mentioned earlier about leaving him with us. Are you suggesting we adopt him? Do as you wish. Who would willingly adopt a child like him? Are you serious? It's not a joke. I mean it. With that, I shut the door and my sister-in-law and her husband departed. My husband and I made the decision to formally adopt Tommy as our own. And so, Tommy became a cherished member of our family. Despite the initial shock of being abandoned by his biological parents, he gradually found comfort and happiness in our home. Though confined to his bed, he found joy in using his hands to navigate tablets and smartphones while lying down. One day, Tommy seemed particularly content. Hey, guess what? My work is getting published in a literary magazine. Wow, that's fantastic. Which magazine? I have been writing novels as a pastime since I'm bedridden. It's pretty much all I can do. It's a bit of an embarrassing hobby though. No need to feel embarrassed. Writing is a wonderful hobby. Mind if I take a look? Sure, this is the first one I finished. Intrigued, I settled down to read the short story Tommy had penned. It was beautifully crafted and deeply resonant. This is incredible. I'm speechless at how good it is. Words can't really capture how I feel. I just tried writing on my tablet, and surprisingly, it was well received. So, I went on to write a medium-length story, and this one too. It got published in the magazine. I had no idea you had such talent. I shared it with my husband, an avid reader, who was equally impressed. This is phenomenal. It has a pure literary essence. Yeah, I'm inspired by Fitzgerald and Hemingway. I also admire Dostoevsky and Sosky. Ah, that explains the tone. It evokes a sense of melancholy. The authors you mentioned often explore sorrow and tragedy in their works. Thank you. That's what I strive for. And so, Tommy's novel was slated for publication in hardcover. Opting for a pseudonym, he chose to go by the name Scott Weil as the author. The inspiration behind the name was derived from F. Scott Fitzgerald and Hermann Hesse's Beneath the Wheel, with Scott representing Fitzgerald and Weil from Hesse's work. Before long, the book by author Scott Weil became a sensation, flying off the shelves of bookstores at a remarkable pace. Witnessing his books garnering a dedicated section in the local bookstore filled me with immense joy. Then came the astonishing news. Tommy won the Pulitzer Prize. I've won the Pulitzer Prize. That's incredible. Your hard work has truly paid off. Tommy's remarkable talent has been acknowledged by the world. It's a moment of pure joy. Yes, even for someone like me, confined to a bed, recognition as a writer is possible. It's a reminder to never give up on one's dreams. I could certainly learn a thing or two from you. A press conference was organized, though we weren't invited. Tommy couldn't take the stage. His condition required him to remain seated in a specialized wheelchair with his upper body securely strapped. I wheeled him into the venue, noticing his tense demeanor and nervous expression. Eventually, the press conference commenced. I, Scott Weil, am an author confined to my bed. Since childhood, I've battled a severe illness, spending the majority of my days in bedridden solitude. However, amidst the confines of my room, books became my solace. It was then that I resolved to become an author myself, aspiring to offer inspiration to others. I am deeply grateful to all those who have embraced my work, as well as to my adoptive parents who have supported me. Following Tommy's speech, the journalists began their inquiries, some of which proved rather insensitive. They delved into the topic of his adoption. In response, Tommy offered a poignant reply. My biological mother faced immense challenges due to my illness. It's likely that she struggled to cope and may have developed resentment towards me. I can't fault her for it. Voices erupted from the crowd. What appalling parenting. Yet Tommy showed no inclination towards seeking pity. Each person faces their own challenges, so I implore you not to rush to judgment. Please, I ask for your understanding. Once everything concluded, my husband and I assisted Tommy into the car. Our vehicle was adapted to accommodate Tommy's wheelchair with ease. Upon arriving home, we were greeted by my sister-in-law and her husband. Tommy, he won the Pulitzer Prize. I'm ecstatic. Come back to live with us. My sister-in-law's demeanor suddenly shifted. She likely envisioned Tommy's newfound success as a potential source of wealth. No, I'm staying here. I won't go back to that house. But I'm your birth mother. My only parents are Sally and David. Then hand over the prize money. No, this money belongs to my mom and dad, not you. It's for Sally. What? I'm the one who raised you all these years. Give it to me. Not a chance. I don't consider you my parents anymore. Even when I was young, you insulted me. I didn't speak ill of you at the press conference, but you often said hurtful things like you regretted having me, even mentioning abandoning me. Do you have any idea how much that hurt? I'm the one who feels regretful for having a parent like you. You owe me an apology. I've done nothing wrong. How dare you forget the favor of raising you, she exclaimed. Her husband joined in, persistently demanding the money. Their greed left me astounded, wondering just how insatiable they could be. It was disgraceful, a display of sheer vulgarity. Despite boasting about their stable jobs and financial security, their behavior seemed utterly foolish. In response, I decided to confront them. You seem to have quite the obsession with money. I've noticed you selling various items on those online marketplaces, I retorted. You're so eager to turn a profit. Look here, you're selling a collection of seashells, aren't you? And it appears you're also peddling coral. Do you think that's acceptable? Everyone buys seashells to adorn their homes, she countered defensively. No, that's not acceptable. Perhaps collecting a few seashells as souvenirs from a Hawaiian beach could be permissible, but definitely not coral. Even if you argue they're harmless because they're not alive, that doesn't justify taking them. It's not just about that. Both seashells and coral play crucial roles in forming the beach ecosystem. Even if the coral is no longer living, it's still not appropriate to remove them. This is even stated on Hawaii's official website. I suggest you familiarize yourself with Hawaii's fishing regulations. You'll see it's not permissible, and you may even face fines for such actions. What? No, I refuse to accept that. Well, considering you're selling them online, it certainly appears malicious, so I'll be reporting you. We're going inside now. Goodbye. No, please don't. I'm serious. You'll get caught for sure. I won't hesitate, I warned sternly. With that, we promptly retreated into our home. Without delay, we contacted the authorities. While collecting a few seashells might seem harmless, the sheer volume being sold on an online marketplace by my sister-in-law was alarming. It raised suspicions of potential poaching activities. Despite her possibly believing it was permissible to take coral as long as it wasn't alive, ignorance could have serious consequences. Of course, I also reported her on the online marketplace. Although I only became aware of the situation yesterday, I saw it as fitting payback. Since then, my sister-in-law has faced consequences involving the police and paying fines. I hope this serves as a wake-up call for her to recognize the seriousness of her actions and reflect upon them. Since then, my sister-in-law has ceased visiting our home. Perhaps she fears I may take further action against her. Personally, I have no intention of retaliating unless provoked. However, I prefer to avoid interactions with my sister-in-law, so I'm grateful for the distance she's maintaining. I hope she continues to keep her distance indefinitely. On the contrary, I'm balancing caring for Tommy while working remotely from home. Fortunately, I have assistance from a caregiver, easing the burden of responsibility. While tending to Tommy's needs can be challenging due to his bedridden condition, I find solace in simply being by his side. My priority now is ensuring Tommy can continue writing novels without worry. I dream of his works gaining widespread recognition globally. Even our children have become avid fans of Tommy's novels. With their impending return home, I look forward to cherished moments spent together as a family.